guys, MasaeAnela here, and welcome back to the episode of Tales of Vesperia. In the last episode, we fought Nan and Tyson in an epic battle, and now we're gonna head west really quick before heading into that cave, because, looky here, we have a treasure chest. Okay, so Estelle actually learned a couple of skills, one of which is Nightingale. She now no longer needs to use that thing, that one staff that gives that skill. Or turns nurse into that skill, rather. So, she's no longer dependent on her weapon to use that. And she did give one other weapon, but we will take a look at that later. Anyway, let's see. Travel Guard is better than what she has, but she has like a bunch of skills that she needs. So we'll worry about that later. Now, Rita has... She learned everything on that. She has Grim Cardian. That sounds nice, actually. She got something else, didn't she? She got Everblue. Okay, so... I skipped the weapon. That's great. Do I want that? Or this? You know what? I'll have her learn the skills on this first because that revenge one sounds pretty dang good. Now we want to go in here. Can I sneak now? Now continuing on, we have one more battle up here. And for our troubles, we get... Dun dun dun! A feather coat! Let's see who can use that. I believe it is... She already has a feather coat. Okay, so that was wasted. That makes no sense. She already has a feather coat, but they give us one anyway. Okay. Anyway, you know what? I'm going to switch out... Actually, did he learn everything? He is just barely not learning everything on that. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and let him fight one or two more battles so he can actually switch out his weapon, and then I'm gonna switch him out for Rita. Dodge past that, and now let's go into the cave. Hello, Baul.
What's happening?
Baul is trying to evolve as an Intellicaea.
It looks like he's suffering.
Baul, come on! No!
I want to heal your wounds, but there's nothing I can do. My power is poison to you, isn't it?
Healing wounds isn't your power, Estelle.
What do you mean?
Don't you remember Bellius's words?
Power corrupts, but you are different. Never lose that kindness, the compassion you so readily show to others.
My compassion for others.
Your thoughts are reaching Baul. I'm sure of it.
All we can do now is hope for the best. Well now.
Amazing!
I knew you could do it.
Your partner seems like he's gonna be just fine.
Yes. Thank you all for helping to protect him. This is something I couldn't have done alone.
You're one of us! Of course we'd help!
Didn't I tell you? You got through to him. You make it through to Pharaoh as well. Will you be going to meet him?
That's up to Estelle to decide.
I'll go. It's been the purpose of my journey after all.
Are you sure? What if you end up getting killed?
Even still, I've got to stand firm on this.
It won't be too long before the hunting blades send reinforcements. How about a change in scenery before they show up and spoil the party?
There's only one path down from here, though. We're bound to run into them.
Get on. We'll fly as far as the Fiertia. We can finish talking once we arrive.
Judy!
She's sleeping. She must be exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, she just keeled over. Wasn't expecting that.
I bet she watched over Baul the entire time he was evolving. She probably didn't get much sleep. She probably had no idea when the hunting blades would attack either.
She was putting up a brave front, but she must have been near the end of her rope.
She's just dumb. She doesn't know how to express what she's feeling.
We can finish talking with her tomorrow. We should let her sleep now. In fact, I wouldn't mind a little shut-eye myself.
Baul has evolved into Super Baul! Yes! We now have a flying boat. And now we have a character skit as well. What to do with Judith?
We still haven't heard Judy's side, so we can't say anything, but she sure caused the guild a major headache, breaking Blastias all on her own. There's no getting around that fact, no matter what her reasons. We have to settle this. Man, I hate waiting.
And settle we will. Now we have to talk to everyone, starting with Carol. What's up, little dude? Are you thinking about Judy? Yeah, I'm wondering what we should do about her. It's true that she broke the guild's laws and betrayed us. I always thought that a guild's strict adherence to its own laws was what kept it together. That there could be no exceptions, no lenience for those who would break the laws. But she did what she did to save the world. Judith is destroying Blastia because she knows it's the right thing to do, even if it makes people hate her. Yep. Judith didn't break our laws in order to do something bad. I know this now. I'm gonna talk with her about it and give it some more thought. I'll figure this out eventually. So he's finally being a leader, kind of. Okay, now we're done with Carol. Next up is Estelle. Hello, Estelle. Oh, Yuri. Sorry to interrupt while you're thinking. Ever since I took Bellius's life without meaning to, I've wanted to know what it means to be the child of the full moon so the same thing doesn't happen again. I always thought that was my duty to know. But after what happened to Bellius... That's how everyone is. They do something, they learn, they do something else, they learn more. Yeah, that sounds like Yuri's normal pattern. That would be some sort of advice that he would give. Okay. There's only one thing I can say for sure. Maybe you wouldn't have made any mistakes, but it sure would have been boring. You got a point there. More boring, but more safe. I don't know which one's worse. Anyway, now we have Raven. Hello, old dude. So does an old man past his prime fit into the picture at all? What are you whining about, old man? Why are you past your prime? What Judith was talking about before. Hermes Blastia, was it? Blastia created with techniques that should have been lost in the war are still active. Do you know what this means? I guess someone who survived the war brought either Blastia or those techniques back with him. Okay, so someone just doesn't care if the Earth is gonna be destroyed. Old man, don't tell me you... Hey now, yours truly was nothing but an innocent youth on the straight and narrow back man. I wouldn't do something like that even on my worst day. Son of a... When are you gonna learn some respect for your elders? Yuri, respect? Since when? Anyway, I believe that's everyone. Now we want to head into this and talk to Rita. Is that the core from the series Blastia that Judy destroyed? Yes, it's definitely cut with a different formula than the usual core. It looks like what she said was true. So why did the Fiertia have such a really special Blastia? I can't imagine how the person who created the Hermes technique must have felt. Oh, what if it had been you? If I found out that it hurt the Earth, I would have to do something about it. But I wouldn't destroy the Blastia like that. Well, it's either one or the other. If only things weren't so complicated. I could have just blasted her into oblivion and be done with it. Oh, Rita. Just gotta love her. Thank you. Woof. That's it? Now, the main event. Save point time! Okay, now for real the main event. Judy time! She's sound asleep. Let's let her sleep a bit longer. Okay.
Morning, Yuri.
Morning.
It's a beautiful morning, but even as we stand here, the air is out of balance. And our world may already be dying.
That's right.
Well, look who's feeling better.
In the past, these slight fluctuations of the air have not negatively affected our world. There have always been beings who maintain the balance by sensing changes in the airflow. Beings like Pharaoh and Baul, the Intellicheia.
So the Entellicheia were responsible for keeping the air balanced.
For ages, the Intellicheia have regulated the air. But the recent increase has been greater than they could control.
Which is being caused by the Hermes Blastia.
And which is also why you were going around taking down as many of them as you could.
Yes, that was my mission. The path I walk with Baul, to whom I owe my life.
The path you walk.
Now some would even hunt the Intellicheia for apatheia. This has made the mission of the Intellicheia even more difficult.
Why is everybody so crazy about these apatheia anyway?
I'm afraid I don't have an answer. The air an Intellicheia absorbs becomes condensed within its body over time. When its life is at an end, that condensed air forms a crystal, an apatheia. That's all I know. I imagine Pharaoh could shed more light on the subject, though.
So apatheia are crystals of concentrated air. If that's true and the energy could be extracted from the apatheia, it would be a source of overwhelming power, I'm sure.
Could we really do that?
I don't know.
I bet somebody wants to use these things for the wrong reasons.
Why didn't you just tell us all this from the beginning?
Seriously, we could have avoided all this trouble if you'd just talked to us. Am I wrong?
Even if you had known, there are things not even you could have prevented.
What do you mean?
I showed up at Heliord because Baul had sensed a disturbance in the air. Where there was a disturbance, there was sure to be a Hermes Blastia. But what I found there was not a Blastia, it was a person. That had never happened before.
So it wasn't like you were looking for Estelle in particular back at Heliod.
Yet for some reason, Baul perceived Estelle as a disturbance in the air. I had to find out why. For the sake of the path I've chosen. It was at that time that Pharaoh first appeared. He seemed to have some idea who Estelle was. My mission was to destroy all the Hermes Blastia. However, Estelle was obviously not a Blastia. I needed to make absolutely certain. I made a deal with Pharaoh, and he agreed to grant me some time.
You mean...
If it became apparent that her existence posed too great a threat, then I would kill her.
You what?
Settle down. Obviously, Judith reached a different conclusion.
All right, I get it.
Belius said you possess a heart of compassion. If you can communicate that to Pharaoh somehow, you may learn what you should do.
Hey, there's no real reason for you to fight Pharaoh anymore, right? I mean, we know the Hermes Blastia are what's causing the problem and everything. If we just make sure the apatheia don't fall into the wrong hands...
I still want to meet Pharaoh. I want to hear what he has to tell me. But please try to understand. I have to know more about myself and take responsibility for who I am.
All right.
Sorry, Yuri. I don't think we can decide what to do about Judith right away.
I promise not to leave again until things have been settled, as you said. I need to accept that responsibility myself.
Let's go and find Pharaoh. We'll finally be getting around to one of the first things we set out to do. We can work out the rest once this is finished.
There is a rocky crag in the center of the sands of Kogor. That is where Pharaoh lives. Baul can take us there.
Okay, let's go. This meeting's been a long time coming.
I can communicate with Baul, but there are still a few things you should know.
Like what?
Baul can only land on the ground in wide, open spaces, so you won't be able to dismount on steep mountain ranges or in narrow canyons.
Can't he land on water?
Water's no good either.
Really? He looks like he'd be a good swimmer.
Yeah, he'd sink like a rock.
Huh. Who knew?
But that's why we have a ship, right?
Right. If you'd like to get down onto the ocean, let me know. Baul will set our ship down there for us.
Okay, but what should we do when we want to fly again?
Use Baul's horn to call him to you.
Vowels. That's all there is to it?
Every Intellicaea has a special region in its brain that can be used for communication with a special power Critians possess.
Huh. So we can get a hold of him by using that.
Right.
Okay. Now this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Now this is transportation. Screw the ship, screw the walking. This is amazing. Anyway, we have a character skit. Pharaoh.
Judith, you're familiar with Pharaoh, aren't you?
Is he really as scary as he seems?
Well, let's see. Sometimes he's logical, sometimes he's emotional. He can be really scary or really kind.
All right, that didn't help very much.
One thing's certain, his power is extraordinary, even among the Intellicaea.
Here's hoping we don't wind up looking like poor old Mount Temsa the moment we meet him.
If he can do that to a mountain, there wouldn't be anything left if he turned on us.
I wish you wouldn't joke about scary things like that.
Why should we get scared before we even get there? Especially if he's that strong.
Wish I could take it as lightly as you and Yuri.
Talk about obliteration. Anyway, we finally have Baul. This is the flying transportation of this game. It is amazing. Definitely one of the most amazing things in this game. I love it. Anyway, Super Baul is floating right above the area that we need to go to. See that rocky crag that Judith mentioned? We actually walked right past that earlier on in the game. So, with that being said, we are going to save that area and talking to Pharaoh for the next episode. And character skit. These things just keep popping right up left and right.
I never imagined you'd be able to speak with the Intellicaea.
Well, I use a Critian technique to do it. Wait, do I detect a little jealousy?
Maybe. Right, Repeat?
Yuri, you want to talk to Repeat?
I think the two of you understand each other well enough already.
I got him pretty well figured out, but I don't know if he understands me.
I think he feels the same way.
Those two seem a little too similar. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Let's look forward to visiting Pharaoh at long last. MasaeAnela out.